Good evening, Night Owls, and thank you so much for inviting me into your homes once again. Late Night with the Devil is a Shudder original written and directed by Cameron and Colin Caines, also known as the Caines. They've done some horror projects in the past. Check out the respective IMDb pages for the full listings of their work. This takes place on Halloween night in 1977, that glorious year where Star Wars got released. And 20th Century Fox said, George Lucas, we think that you did great here, but it's not going to succeed. You can have all the rights and perpetuity and all that and all the marketing and everything. You can have everything. And then a few years later, oh shit, hey George, can we get a piece of that? No, but you can help me release it. Oh shit, did not think that one through. And also, it was a few years before the death of disco, like on that ball field. It was either the White Sox or the Cubs, where they just burned all the disco records and smash and smash and smash. Death to disco. Skeletor destroying disco records would be rather hilarious. In fact, I demand if they ever do another He-Man movie that we see that. But yes, before the Death to Disco, where they were in disco fever, La Parka hit him with a chair. Yeah, that's a deep cut for wrestling fans. Before all that, and before Halloween came out the year after, and John Carpenter helped revive the slasher genre before it got pounded in the goddamn dirt in the 80s, with just a bunch of goddamn movies, some that were good and a lot that were shit. We were at Halloween night 1977. And the setting for this particular movie is a late night talk show hosted by Jack Delroy, who is played by David Dastmalchian. I had to write that down. He was in The Boogeyman, coming to get you, boom, and eat worms and all that, and then tear his tricep before a big match in Chicago. Speaking of Chicago, this takes place in the Midwest, so much so that Svengoolie fans will love the announcement of Berwyn. No, really, I mean, that actually kind of made me chuckle right there. But you have Jack Delroy, who is near the end of his 5-year contract with this particular network, and it's sweeps week, and he wants to really juice things up, because even though his ratings are decent, he wants to compete with Johnny Carson. So much so that they hammer that thing home a few times, and he is going to really launch everything into the stratosphere. He wants to have a spooky theme for Halloween night 1977. And this is presented as the master tape of the last broadcast of his show. So yeah, you're probably thinking we're going to get like a Blair Witch situation. Nobody's standing in the goddamn corner like, Josh! None of that stuff. No, we just have a late night talk show set that has a great 70s aesthetic. I do want to say the set designs and, you know, the way they made it look, the gritty feel of it, and just the style of it, the style of the jokes, the fashions, and just the way people carry themselves and the way the show is presented, it really does feel like it was just plucked from the 70s. It doesn't feel like a gimmick. It really feels like a live organic world, as opposed to an unalive organic world. And Jack has had some strife in his life. He's suffered loss. He's had struggles. There's also stuff in his past that comes out during this whole thing. But his big reveal is going to be having a little girl named Lily, played by Ingrid Torelli, who I do have to say has a very fucking bright future. Get this girl in more goddamn movies. She is ready-made for horror. She is ready-made for drama. She was really good in this. And the idea is she was part of a particular cult and now may be in league with a demon, an entity. And he's going to do a live, possession basically thing on his show to really juice up ratings. And yeah, that doesn't really sound like it would go all that well. And oh boy, it doesn't. Not really to spoil anything, but it really doesn't. So this movie had gotten a lot of goddamn hype. I mean, I had seen some trailers for it, and Shudder Originals are getting more of at least a limited theatrical release, like When Evil Lurks and a few others and everything. And I was really thrilled to see that this was getting a release in my area. Fun fact, I actually went and watched Problemista at a theater about 40 miles from my house, and then somehow managed to get from North Seattle back to my town of Marysville in about 40 minutes on a Friday afternoon. Washingtonians, especially on the western side, will know how almost impossible that is. It was a miracle. Got back in time, sat in the theater. There were 2 other people in the at this particular showing, and decided to sit down and give it a shot. Because when I see that a movie is receiving a lot of critical praise, and even some people that saw it at film festivals, some people that saw early screenings are really praising it, I have some caution, because sometimes I even care for that stuff. Now, I wasn't sure what to think of When Evil Lurks, and When Evil Lurks really surprised me. So how did I feel about this? Because I did praise the girl that played Lily. And there are some other good performances in this. David really was great as a talk show host that just realizes he's a fish out of water. I think that's how that saying goes. So how was the movie? I haven't enjoyed a possession movie as much as I did this one since The Cleansing Hour. And I really very, very much praise The Cleansing Hour. For longtime viewers of the channel, you will remember that. So much so that I was surprised the director actually reached out and appreciated the praise. That was very nice of him. I hope he's doing well. I should have looked his name up before this, but I'm going to have to check out more of his projects. I'm going to say right now, Cameron and Colin Caines, I need to check out more of their stuff, because if this is an example of what they can do with the backing of Shudder and the marketing of Shudder and also 10 other production companies. In fact, the very opening of this, I thought we were in a Mobius strip of production companies where we were just being assaulted with this stuff. But you know what? Teamwork makes a horror dream work. Now I want to see DreamWorks tackle a horror movie. Nevertheless, Late Night with the Devil is one of the best horror movies that I have seen in a long goddamn time, because it has just enough, of a mountain and valley, like pacing to it, but it has this overall feeling of dread with some dark comedy and just a lot of really good stuff where you care just enough about the characters that you're like, oh shit, I can't believe this is happening to that person. And oh yeah, what the fuck did you think was going to go on? And sure, it is very obvious where the whole goddamn thing is going, especially with certain things they reveal, even in the opening montage where they talk about Jack's life and him building his empire and his show and the wife and family life and all that. And all the stuff that he has, and the fact that he's trying to save his show and trying to save the jobs of the people that work for him, that depend on him. And you can see him unraveling, and also certain extracurricular activities that he has that may or may not tie into all this stuff. It is well paced, and it is very, very well done. It has some truly, truly shocking moments. Is it as great as When Evil Lurks as far as shock value? No. I may have to watch When Evil Lurks right after this, because I need to feel something like, oh yeah, that kid's really goddamn creepy, and that movie was fucked up. If you have not seen When Evil Lurks, please check that out. But after you check out Late Night with the Devil, it is going to be on Shudder, I believe on April 19th, but if you can see this in theaters, give it a shot, because the more people see movies like this, the more of a chance streaming movies that are going to be on streaming get a chance to be in theaters, get a little bit more money, get a little more notoriety. The cast and crew involved can actually do some good stuff, and more shouts to the goddamn cast. Laura Gordon, who plays a doctor. Doctor, give me the news. I got a bad case of loving you. Laura Gordon, who actually is really good. And then it was kind of funny. There was a guy named Ian Bliss that played a skeptic guest guy named Carmichael Haig. But then the one that plays Jack's wife, Madeline Delroy, is named Georgina Haig. How confusing was that to be on set? Haig, we need you. Me, Haig, or he, Haig? He, Haig. Yeah. I don't know why I'm doing that. Late Night with the Devil is really, really fucking good, though. And has just a great psychotic feel about it, because 70s, and it's just dripping with atmosphere and some really, really good horror elements. And I just love the costume design. I just love the pacing of it. I just thought it was really, really goddamn good. I mean, it starts subtle and really ramps up. This movie's only 90 minutes long, and it just absolutely sinks its teeth into you, its claws in you, and it doesn't fucking let go. But yeah, David is really good as the host, and you could tell he wants to do well, but you could also tell he's goddamn out of his element, and also that he made a deal with probably the wrong goddamn people to keep his show going. If you get it, you get it. It's in theaters if you want to check it out. I'm going to get into spoilers just so you know. But yeah, it's in theaters. Otherwise, it'll be on streaming on the 19th of April. 3, 2, 1, your warning. Finally, spoilers. So, in the beginning, yeah, there was rap, as our Lord and Savior Dr. Dre once said. But also, we see a montage of how, Jack came to be. How he had a show. He inked a deal with a network called UBC for 5 years. Gave him everything he wanted, but at what price? He had a wife who ended up getting stricken with cancer. Suddenly, out of nowhere, lung cancer. And despite the fact she had never smoked, she had never done any of that, she got lung cancer, she passed away. And also it's revealed a little bit later on that maybe Jack wasn't the most faithful. Also, Jack participates with a bunch of other rich men, in a thing called The Grove in the woods, where they do a lot of weird ritualistic robe wearing shit. It's like the Stonecutters. If the Stonecutters were slightly less evil. We do. Who spends a late night with the devil? We do. Who makes David Malchian a star? I screwed it up. We do. So, what I liked about this was just the unraveling and just the fact that nobody could contain what evil was coming. Also, I liked the fact that during the ad breaks they actually went to black and white. That was great shit, making it look like this is actual lost footage. But we find this out in the montage, the stuff about the Grove, all that, and this is being presented as master tape. And then he does the good evening pitch. There's a guy named Christou. I gotta say the actor playing him is pretty good. He's a clairvoyant, so to speak, kind of like John Edwards, except this guy's a lot more realistic. But yeah, he's seen as a charlatan, a fake, and Carmichael's like, no, I will prove that you are a liar. But this is after, by the way, Christou has this insane, like just cracking where he hears a name and it's Minnie. And Minnie was the nickname for Madeline, but it was a secret nickname that he and, her had, meaning Jack and Madeline. And this guy is like freaking out. He's puking up black stuff. That's not good. And then he pukes up again in the ambulance off screen and dies of a hemorrhage. Oh, that explains why he was holding his head. So then the black and white ad break footage was nice. And Carmichael was a skeptic. He kept trying to disprove all this stuff. And then we bring on Laura Gordon, who I do have to say is quite lovely. She is somebody that, her and Jack were together. Now, how long were they together? Was it while Madeline was still alive? Who knows? Also, the little girl, Lily. She was the only survivor of this cult fire at this compound, Saks. Wicked. Sorry to any of my East Coast friends. But mainly in Massachusetts. That's how they sometimes talk over there. And I can say that as somebody that visited Boston for all of 3 days. So, that being said, Lily, you can clearly tell that she's off her goddamn rocker. The girl's great. Ingrid Torelli is great in this. Fucking fantastic. Just absolutely just exuding creepiness and just this, yes, it's great. It's absolutely great. This is fine. Oh, hi, Mr. Delroy. Hi. And then they decide to do the exorcism, where she refers to the entity as Mr. Wriggles. He wriggles in and he wriggles out. Then he shakes it all about. And then they do the exorcism, and then, the chair floats and some weird electrical stuff and all this, and Carmichael is calling bullshit. It's absolute bullshit. Turns out it's not bullshit. It's not bullshit at all. Now things calm down a little bit, but Lily being the only survivor of that Abraxas cult, and that's the name of it, Abraxas, yes, like the little-known Jesse Ventura futuristic android movie, Abraxas, Guardian of the Universe, or however the fuck that title's going. But then it really ramps up when Lily literally, like, her head, like, her she's starting to really lose it. But before that, Carmichael hypnotizes the people at home with a clock, spinning clock. You're getting very sleepy. And also, the co-host is deathly afraid of worms. It makes him think worms are in him and pulling them out of his neck. It's great body horror effects and all this. He's freaking out. The people are freaking out. And then he snaps. And oh my god, this isn't supposed to happen. And then finally wakes him up. And it's all fake. It's all fake. It was hypnotic suggestion. They show the footage. Wait, that's not how we remember it. Some of that dialogue isn't quite the same. And then they're going to replay the footage. But he says, you know what? We're going to have the musical guest on at some point. Let's talk to Lily and let's talk to Dr. Ross Mitchell. And then Lily finally just during her initial, possession thing, was talking to him, saying, to Jack, you know who I am. We've met before. The stuff with the Grove. And also the fact the contract he signed was also a league with the devil to give him everything he wanted. And a commentary on how basically dealing with TV executives and having everything you want in Hollywood being full of the devil. But again, Ingrid Torelli, fan-fucking-tastic. Look, Her talents are going to take her far if she wants to stick in this. Because I thought she was just fucking great. But then her head just splits. She just splits. She just starts killing everybody. She kills Carmichael. She, sets him on fire. She kills she kills the doctor by choking her out with the rosary type thing or whatever it is. Like, a little possession deal, or like, power price compels you, and it looks like a little wooden doll. There's also a dagger and also this other stuff from the Abraxas household. And David, by the way, is doing a great job here portraying the panic of Jack. He's freaking out. And then he's taken into like this backstage area and into this almost alternate realm where the people from the Grove and all this stuff that happened to him, and then being in league with the devil and all this, and he's talking to his wife who's on her deathbed, and she was hoping that he would come to see her and everything, despite the fact that she was everything that he wanted, even though he wanted the show, and she was the sacrifice, basically. She was the sacrifice. And he says, obviously they love each other and everything, and all this stuff's going on. By the way, everybody's dead. Everybody's dead on the goddamn set by this point. Maybe, possibly, I think so. Some of the audience left, and then everybody's freaking out. And then audience members are around watching this stuff because now he's caught in a loop. He's caught in hell. What do you mean? This is the other place, that Twilight Zone episode. But he's told by, Madeline, just gotta stab her with the goddamn knife to finish her off. And he does. And then it turns out it's Lily. And he is the only one left standing. He's caught in this hellscape. All because he wanted the fame, and the price of fame ended up costing him everything, including his soul. At least that's the implication. At least I assume that's what they were going for. Late Night with the Devil is fucking phenomenal. Everybody did a great goddamn job in this. The aesthetic, the pacing, the cinematography, it was just so well done. And once again, David did a great job. And Ingrid as a little girl, she was fan-fucking-tastic. So I would love to have seen her on more of the show just because of how good she was, how creepy she was, how much she just made your skin crawl with her performance, with respect. Because this girl has so much talent, is going to carry herself so far. A+, gets an A+, one of the best horror movies that I've seen in a while. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. Like, share, subscribe, Twitter handle in the description. I'm John Ritlin. I'll see you soon.